or anything like that. But based on multiple conversations that I've had, it does seem like the most likely scenario is that Kelsey Plum would move on from the Aces.
The Las Vegas Aces, once the undisputed champions of the WNBA, are now spiraling into chaos. It all started when Kelsey Plum refused to sign a contract extension, but that was just the beginning. Now, tensions are boiling over with A'ja Wilson visibly upset, and the locker room feels like a battlefield. Coach Becky Hammon seems overwhelmed, struggling to manage the turmoil. From championship glory to complete disarray, things have taken a sharp turn for the worse in Vegas. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this dramatic meltdown.
What's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum, is that during the season when the rest of the core aces, the other, they're the core four, A'ja, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions, she did not.
Can you believe what Kelsey Plum just did? Her refusal to sign a contract extension wasn't just a contract issue. It was the spark that set off a powder keg ready to explode. This move has sent shockwaves through the Las Vegas Aces, unraveling the tight-knit team that once seemed unstoppable with their core four. What was once a championship-caliber squad is now watching its foundation crumble, piece by piece. This decision could be the start of a major downfall for the Aces.
When it comes to somebody like Kelsey Plum, she's coming off a difficult personal year, and she's emphasized that she wants to take time for herself, which is why she said that she pulled out of Unrivaled. So we're not necessarily in the position to, with respect to what she said, to ask her directly, and that would be the best indicator here. But of course, like you mentioned my reporting, like I can pull and cite a few quotes that kind of imply that, the same way that Satu said that she's working with the Dallas organization, that's been the implication, that the Aces are working to find a situation where, quote unquote, everybody's happy, which is exactly what Becky Hammon said to me about a month ago in regards to Kelsey Plum's situation.
Why would Kelsey Plum leave a winning team? After a tough personal year, she's looking for a fresh start, despite impressive stats: minus 17.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 42% shooting. Now, the Golden State Valkyries, with $1.2 million in cap space, are ready to make a move, backed by a secret weapon that could seal the deal.
It gives them an opportunity to have a great perimeter scorer, which we know that Kelsey Plum is, but it also will add a little bit of familiarity for her because the new head coach was the former assistant coach in Las Vegas, and I think that could also be something that plays well, where you're getting a new environment and you're getting a new experience, but you're also still working with someone who knows you and knows you well, so you get a bit of the best of both worlds.
Here's the kicker. The Valkyries' head coach, Natalie N.Y., and Kelsey Plum have a deep connection. We're talking 6 o'clock a.m. Pilates sessions together. This bond could make Plum feel right at home in New Jersey. It's not just about the money. It's about finding a team where she truly fits.
To me, that's like the most intriguing destination for Kelsey. I totally understand the fit. You mentioned like perimeter scoring for the Valkyries, and they'll absolutely need that. But I think also she brings like this, veteran championship mentality that Natalie Nakaze has emphasized that she wants to cultivate in the Golden State. And so to me, that would just be knock out of the park. And they have the room to do it. They're just building their roster. Cap space is not going to be a problem. So that stands out to me, definitely.
Imagining the Las Vegas Aces without that core four. They were all drafted there, right? They were all drafted there. And so, look, as a Warriors fan, losing Klay Thompson, I can sort of relate to this, but that would be quite a blow for a team like Vegas. They came up together. They won 2 championships together.
But wait, there's more. The Valkyries aren't the only team eyeing Plum. Rumors are swirling about a possible sign-and-trade deal with the Chicago Sky. It's like a high-stakes poker game, and Plum's holding all the cards.
Us as black women, age reminds me a lot of you. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. Like, she understands her privilege. It's like, pushes her over the top, in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And that's...
Now, you might think it's just the heat of the moment, but here's where it gets juicy. A'ja Wilson's been letting off steam, and it's not just about one player. She's calling out the whole team. The superstar is saying her teammates aren't pulling their weight, but here's the kicker. While AA is pointing fingers, the team's falling apart faster than a cheap pair of sneakers. Her high-energy demands are creating a rift in the locker room. Some players are energized by her passion, but others are feeling the pressure, and it's not in a good way. It's like watching a pressure cooker ready to blow.
I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate, because that's how I get the best out of my team.
You might be wondering, isn't AA still dominating on the court? Well, here's the thing. She's still putting up numbers, but something feels off. It's like watching a queen try to rule a kingdom that's slipping through her fingers. The pressure of being the team's leader, the face of the franchise, it's all piling up. With each game and each frustrated outburst, you can see it. She's starting to feel the weight.
And something else interesting to me is that the Aces seem like they have a lot of decisions to make, and they haven't replaced their GM. And I was reading, your reporting, and I saw all this we're making decisions by committee, which I found curious. How long is that going to go on for?
Remember when the Aces were unstoppable? That's fading fast. The frustration isn't just personal. It's a sign of something bigger. They've coasted on past wins, but reality is hitting hard. It's like living in a Vegas fantasy where the house always wins. The real shock? It's not just about losing games. It's about losing what made them great. Her leadership. The woman who once inspired with a smile is now causing tension. Watching her falter, you have to ask, can she turn it around?
I know that when I spoke to Becky last month, it was unclear. I requested to interview Natalie Williams recently, and the Aces declined. So obviously this is something that they don't want to talk about right now. But to me, it seems quite unlikely that they're going to even make a hire. And I know that it feels like they're trying to leave that up in the air. That's what Becky Hammon tried to, I think, imply. And when I've spoken to Nikki Fargas, team president.
Remember when Becky Hammon was at the peak, celebrating championship glory? Those days feel like a distant memory now. Hammond's caught in a struggle that's turning her championship ring into more of a burden than a triumph. You might think she can turn things around, but here's the twist. It's not just anger she's dealing with, it's disappointment. And in sports, that hits harder than any loss. Like your mom saying she expected more from
and Kelly
you.
are just talking about, players and evaluations before we came out here, and building quality depth is going to be important. When you have a core three like we have, surrounding them with players who are going to, fill the roles, certainly, first and foremost, who are going to embrace the roles, secondly, and who give us the best opportunities for success by complementing what they do really, really well.